All right, this is for assignment 7. And if you watch this stuff, my two cottages are the uh, graphic objects for the color light and the texture light. And they're set up with meshes, so they're different colors. And you can see that the light is affecting them correctly. And you also see it on the roof right there. And then you also see that the cube down here is also getting hit by the light since this is a regular color light texture using a graphic object. So for my color light, I go and I have set materials, or you can do it separately for ambient diffuse and specular, and set the context. And if you go into the color light CPP, I have mine set up in a struct, which is here for the materials. Um, but basically I go, and just how you did mesh colors, I set all these to a array, go through them all, and I set the material to the side, go through these, and then down here you bind, and then you do each material in the for loop instead of just the color by itself. And then same thing for texture light. However, for texture light, that was more confusing because it never really crossed my mind to do a pointer to pointers, because then you can do pointer array. So then in here, now you can just do p texture to a bunch of new pointer texture array. And I set them all to null, set all these to null pointer, and then it's the same game of ambient diffuse and spec. Send all these up, you delete them all, and then the graphic texture light stores the texture depending on what the mesh number is. And then when you're down here, you also set resources in this for loop for render, and it goes through. I also have a graphics object set up. So right now in my init, for my initial stuff, I set everything like it's supposed to. I make the models, and then my game object color equals a shader in a model. All these end up equaling a shader in a model. 4 and 5 are, well, 3, 4, and 5 are ones using meshes. 3 is only using uh, 1, so it doesn't have to be chosen at all. This one, uh, 4 and 5 have different ones, so then we're setting those how they're supposed to. I'm using an example for 5 if you wanted to set ambient diffuse and specular by themselves. That's why I have this bottom row uncommented, or I have the bottom row commented. And then I set all their worlds, and then I have a graphic object manager, and I register them, and basically I just put them in a list. And in my draw scene, it's a lot smaller now because all I do is set them, and I store the texture in the graphic manager, get the matrices. Then on render, I go and set the context to the graphic object in the list, and then I send the matrices and then I render. However, what I should do is I need to order these by the shader. So then I set the context once, go through all the ones that are for that specific shader, then go to the next one, set that context to that shader, and then render all those. Because right now I'm setting context for every single graphics object, which I don't have to for set the context.